One of the stars of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, now in its fifth season, and premiered just last week. It airs every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern on Fox. But there's so much more to Terry Crews than just Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
How good a football player were you? Because sometimes the older you get, the better you were.
Yeah.
Like when you nobody was around to watch or remembers, and then you could say whatever.
I was good enough to be in the NFL. I watched a lot of superstars go home. But in regard to being a Pro Bowl player, I was that in my mind, but it just didn't get there. You know what I mean?
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Western Michigan University.
Okay.
But you got to understand too, it was kind of weird for me because I played defensive end in college, and then in the pros I was switched to linebacker. So it wasn't something I grew up doing. I was just a tremendous athlete that was kind of put into a spot that I really, didn't have an experience. If I had played linebacker all the way from high school all the way through, I think I would have done better, to be honest with you. But
Did you ever have a moment in the NFL where you say, that's it right there?
There were several. Like when I was with the Skins and I was backing up Ken Harvey, and I remember he went down, and I went in. We were playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I went in and made 3 consecutive amazing tackles. It was awesome. He jumped off the gurney. I'm not kidding you. Ken, he was on his way. He was like, they were partying him off. He just, and he jumped off and ran back in the game. I was like, see, this is what, and it turns out he's literally my best friend to this day. He is my best friend. He's actually coming up to New York to visit me today. But we always talk about that. He was like, the NFL is the kind of place where you wish your best friend got injured. You know what I mean? Like, you want your best friends to really get a concussion, and so you can get your chance.
Yeah.
And totally, he came back in the game, and that was it for me. He was a beast. He was a Pro Bowl player.
Now, who's the biggest name you tackled?
Barry Sanders.
You actually tackled Barry.
I mean, it was one of those things where you get we played against him. You get a touch, and you wait for him to go down, and you touch his foot, and you're like, oh my God. But again, to play against him was an amazing experience. You know what I mean? I came in the NFL in '91, which was. It was kind of wild because I was actually at the game when Mike Utley got hurt, and never walked again, and then the same game, a friend of mine lost the tip of his finger, and I remember I was on the plane on the way home, like, oh my God, this is for real, like this is like life and death, you know what I mean? That was a real eye opener for me. It was an old school kind of feel. I mean, we had some guys in the locker room that were smoking. When I walked in the locker room, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, man, sit down over there, dude." I was like, dude, this dude's playing and he's smoking at halftime. You know what I mean? That's unimaginable right now.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarettes.
Okay.
Straight cigarettes in the locker room.
Nobody's drinking or anything like that.
No drinking until after the game, but it was totally cigarettes in the locker room. And I was like, holy cow, this is weird, man.
Well, when does acting then all of a sudden come into play?
Now, acting, I never wanted to act, ever. I was, again, I was an art major. I was painting, drawing, and the whole thing. And I thought I wanted to get behind the scenes in regards to creative, like writing and even special effects. I had my portfolio in at Disney as an animator when I first came out to Hollywood, but we went broke. We had no money, and a friend of mine invited me to an audition, and it was a show called Battle Dome, which was like American Gladiators on steroids. I mean, we were sending people to the hospital. It was pre-MMA.
Wait, you were allowed to be on steroids on this show? Is what you were saying?
What I'm saying is we beat people down. It was American Gladiators was nice and very calm. I played a character named T-Money, who was this warrior from Detroit who would literally smash you in the head. That was the whole point of Battle Dome. The log line for the show was called Real Warriors, Real Pain. That was the log line. And we sent people to the hospital. That was the only. But see, people weren't used to seeing blood on TV at the time. After the UFC really hit, it became more of a bloodlust type thing. But we were like pre that whole deal. So contestants would come in, they put me in a cage, set the ends on fire, and you had to try to wrestle me out of the cage, but I didn't want to go. And it was like, God. It was violent. It was brutal, and it only lasted 2 years because I don't think people were ready. They just were like, "Okay, it's too much. This is weird."
So your break then came where?
That was it. That was the break.
But then what happens after that?
But then after that, I became a heel. Like people got to know me as a badass. This whole thing, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was looking for a new kind of badass to be a part of this posse in his movie. And I got an audition. First movie I ever auditioned for was called The Sixth Day, and I got it. And I thought, okay, Arnold's gonna kill me. It'll be about like a week. It'll be good. And man, dude, turns out I spent 6 months in Vancouver. I was one of the main characters in the movie. It was huge. And Arnold did eventually kill me, but it was, and Arnold was in his nice phase at the time. He was like, I don't want to be that violent anymore. It was like the first PG-13. I was like, damn, I want an R-rated Arnold. You know what I mean? But it was a less violent movie. It was all about cloning and all that. But I was off to the races. Let me tell you, and I never stopped acting after that. After that, I had to learn what I was doing. I remember Michael Rooker was on the set like, no, you stand over here and stand over there. And then when the camera comes, stand over there. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. And but I have a superpower, which is being unembarrassable. So I was able to go, and then the comedy thing started to click.
Terry Crews, one of the stars of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and in his 5th season, we were actually in a movie together. We were in Blended with Adam Sandler.
Yes.
And you stole the end of the movie that was supposed to be for me, which I never got a chance to yell at you. Like, man.
Well, you also did my TV show. You can't.
Yes,
you get. Are we there yet?
I know.
Many times we had a ball, man. We go way back. You were in Longest Yard together.
Did you do a cameo in Training Day?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Let me tell you how that went. Battle Dome was filmed in the LA Sports Arena, okay, which is right next to the Jungle, which is right where Training Day was filmed. So all the gang members would come watch, would be part of the studio audience.
Wait a minute, let me take a break.
Okay, yeah, this is deep. This is deep.
Yeah. Because I do have a point to make about Training Day.
Oh, go ahead,
that I don't know if you're going to agree with me. It's controversial. But we'll continue.
Oh, yeah.
It's on.
Okay.
Now, you and Fritzy are going to take your shirts off, and you're going to get oiled up.
I don't want to see Fritzy with his shirt
You
off.
do not.
I don't want to see that either.
Did you see those arms over there? Those are the guns of Navarone, right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll continue with Terry Crews. Right out. Seton, could you get the oil? That's your
I got
job.
it ready.
I got oil with me. I always keep oil with me.
Do you?
Always. You don't have oil?
No, I do not.
Okay.
No,
I'm
but
sorry.
whenever, would you ever have somebody's job to put oil on you if you were working out, posing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to have oil. Oil is a necessity. I never go out in the morning without an oil.
Does
an oil down.
Does a guy do that for you? See, that would be kind of creepy.
Well, it's not creepy. You have to think about baseball.
No. Is the guy? Did you have a guy oil you up?
No. I oil myself.
Oh,
up.
you do. Okay.
And it's a very personal thing.
Well, that's
look
awkward.
at those arms. Look at that. You oil those.
Look at that. Look at you.
You oil those babies.
At you.
Those are my puppies.
Almost all natural, right there.
It is all natural, all real.
Terry Crews, one of the stars of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, back with more right after this. Been in a lot of different movies, a lot of different sitcoms. Played the president, but you were an extra in Training Day.
That's right.
Okay. First time you meet Denzel Washington. How's that go?
I remember shaking his hand, but he was studying his lines, and he kind of was like, I'm busy. And you don't want to get in his way. We were right
And you're
there
an extra.
Yeah, I am an extra, But this thing, when I met him, I wasn't even in the movie. It was crazy. I came because a friend of mine was a location manager because I used to do security on movie sets. So he introduced me to the set, and he was like, we're watching Denzel. He's in the jungle. He's doing his thing. But all the gang members recognized me from the show Battle Dome, right? So the gang members like, oh, man, we got T-Money up in this mall right here, man, yo. And so the director.
So these are real gang members.
There's a real gang member. When we would film in the sports arena, we shot it at the sports arena right down in by USC, you know? And so they used to say, no gang signs, please, no gang. Because they would be like, no. And it was gangster. It was gangster. So the director notices all these gang members in the jungle, like, coming up to me. He said, "Hey, man, you want to be in this movie?" And I was like, yeah. He said, "Hey, man, take your shirt off, man. We're going to go up to the roof." And I took my shirt. I'm the guy who's clipping pigeons in that iconic scene.
That's you.
In Training Day. And then he said, "Come back." Now, I didn't get paid for anything. He said, "Come back." The director said, "Come back every day, and I'll find a way to put you in the movie." And so that big scene at the end when Denzel's going off and the whole thing, he said, "I want you standing right in front of Denzel." And that was me in the black tank top standing as mad dog and Denzel. Now, this is the deal. I ruined the movie for everybody now because they're like, "That's the guy from White Chicks." He's like, "Hey, wait a minute." It's like it used to be a really threatening, scary, oh my God. But like, dude, I saw him jiggling. He's the Old Spice guy. He's right in front of Denzel Washington right now. And so as the years go on, it's kind of wild. You know what I mean? It's kind of, oh boy, oh yeah. Well, I wanted to, but the good thing was that was the first time I was actually in the Academy Awards, and I was looking at we were watching the Oscars, and there I was with Denzel, and I was like, and I would have been happy never doing anything else. But again, the career just took off after that.
I think Ethan Hawke was better than Denzel in that movie.
He was great, though.
Because his role was a whole lot tougher. Denzel that was his Pacino Scarface moment.
Oh, yeah.
But Ethan he's sort of the newbie. And then all of a sudden you don't know if Denzel's playing with him, and then he realizes what they're doing. Now he's all in. Now he has to turn around and catch the guy who was his mentor.
But you know what? You got to look at movies like that where it's kind of like when you go back to Pulp Fiction. I mean, Travolta was nominated for an Oscar, but that was Sam Jackson's movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that happens a lot. You know what I mean? It's kind of like who's carrying it, who's reacting. A lot of times, who gets to judge that, But I think that Denzel should have got the Oscar for the movie he did the year before about the boxer.
Hurricane.
See, because he got slighted on that, and so they gave it to him for Training Day because he didn't get it for Hurricane, which was awesome. So it's all.
But it's crazy.
It's all wonderful.
But they, we didn't give it to you last time, so we're going to give it. Did you earn it this time, or did you earn it last time, and then we made the mistake?
First of all, you got to remember, movies are like, it's all subjective. This is all American Idol. You know what I mean? It's not like sports. Sports is like 14-10. You lose. It doesn't work like that with the movie. It's always like, I think he made a choice that I don't agree with, and then all of a sudden nobody likes that part of the movie. And so it's all like my favorite movies are Sandler movies, and then you have people who hate Sandler movies. Yeah. So what can you say? You can't please everybody.
What's Andy Samberg like on Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Oh, Andy's amazing. First of all, the reason I work with Andy was because he's the future. You know what I mean? He was coming off of SNL, and, he had his famous skit with Justin Timberlake, Dick in a Box, which was, I thought, anybody who's willing to do that, I'm down. I'm down. And they went there, I go there. I'm very extreme in the things that I tend to do. And when I knew it was Andy, he is absolutely the most giving comedic guy. Because I've worked with a lot of comedians, and it's really hard. When you work with comedians, sometimes they're jealous.
Territorial.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you get all the laughs and the crew is laughing at you, all of a sudden you just disappear. You know what I mean? And it's just very but Andy's not like that guy. He's always been sharing and giving, and this is why our ensemble of Brooklyn Nine-Nine works so well.
We did a movie with him, That's My Boy.
Yes.
And I'm in the scene where I'm this talk show host. I'm trying to get this exclusive interview, and they're in prison. And I remember we got done with we did one scene, and then we were going to do it again. And Samberg, who didn't know who the Danettes were, but he started giving advice. He didn't really know who we were, but he knew that Sandler liked me.
Okay.
And then he said, you might want to try it this way. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm all ears. Sandler doesn't tell you anything.
No. He lets it go.
No. and I go, oh, okay. And then I think he wants to say something to the Danettes, but he doesn't know if they're just extras.
Right.
But then he sees Sandler talking to him. Then he feels like it's okay to go over and talk to these guys, giving us some advice. We still screwed it up, I think. but he was very generous. That's the point.
He's that guy.
Who's the guy in Hollywood you'd like to fight?
Oh.
Or how about or wouldn't?
Whoa, what fight?
Or wouldn't one?
Wouldn't want
How
to
about
fight?
wouldn't want to fight?
Oh, my God. Who would? I mean, I don't know.
Like, could you take The Rock?
You know, no. I
You
wouldn't.
could not.
He's my brother. You know.
But if you had to.
Oh, my God. What kind of question is that?
It's a good one.
It is a good question. No.
That's what kind of question it is.
Well, first of all, you know what? I'm a lover.
I know you are, but you would
And-
love to kick his ass, too.
No.
Yeah, right?
Wait. Now, can I bring this up? Because this is a good thing because it's kind of like these MMA questions. You know, people are like, if it was just you and
In the octagon.
and it was you and Randy Couture and you and everybody likes to do that kind
I'm
of stuff.
going to take Randy Couture.
Right? Yes. And but this is the deal, and you got to understand that at any given day, you can get your ass kicked and it's weird because if you are not in the right position or not right place.
When's
it's
the
kinda
last
like,
time you got beat up?
Oh my God! No, that was a long time ago.
Okay,
Probably
okay.
a real long time ago.
Okay.
Probably in college. I'll never forget. I went up against this. You know, I got in a fight in a practice, and this guy was a wrestler. Like,
Oh, no, never get into a fight.
man, I was like, and I remember I was on my back. I was on my back before I knew it, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, and he was just on top of me, like pummeling me, and I was badass. I mean, I looked better, I felt better, but he knew all the
Never
moves.
go with a guy who got cauliflower ear.
All the moves. See, this is the humility thing. This is why you can't say, like, you answering questions like that. Somebody who's actually been beat up knows, I wouldn't say, I don't know. Because any given day, you can get your ass kicked.
You think you could take J.J. Watt?
Oh, no way. He's too young.
Okay.
You know, I'd shoot him. I just have to shoot him.
What
I mean,
about,
there's some guys that are just too powerful. You just be like, hey, man, I got my wasting time. Pow, bye-bye.
could you take all, if I said you had to fight all four of my Danettes?
At the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd beat them all.
Okay, that's what I thought.
These guys.
That's right. Yeah,
I mean, you know,
that's what I thought.
you can see it. Look, you can see it by the look in their eyes. You know what I mean? When they look at you and you look at them serious and they go, hi, it's over.
Can't make eye contact
it's
right
that
now.
One, it's that one guy you make eye contact with and he just doesn't break it. You're like, okay, you know what? It's not going to be an end. This is the thing. When do fights end? This is the question. Like, so it's kind of like you can fight, but then as soon as you think it's over, he might pick up something and and he won. You know, you depend on somebody to pull you apart. There's kind of like that. Hey, come get me. There's a whole dance that has to happen. You got to make sure you got enough people to pull you away. Because if you leave two people to fight alone, they'd be like, "Hey, man, you know, you want to fight? No, let's just talk it over."
It's only when other people
It's
are there.
only when other people are around.
And especially a girl. That's right?
Exactly.
You're,
And a drink somewhere.
you're working on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. What else are you working on?
Oh my God! I got a movie called "Where's the Money" coming out in October, and then I got
Who's that with?
That's with a huge internet Instagram superstar named Andrew Batchelor, named King Batch. He's got like 15 million Instagram followers, and it's a really, really fun movie. And I'm the heavy in it. It's just all good. And then I did another Sundance movie called "Sorry to Bother You." That's going to be out in Sundance, come January. I'm doing independent stuff, and we're doing more Old Spice.
Oh, you're doing more Old Spice stuff?
Old Spice. I'm an 8-year vet with Old Spice, man. I love those guys.
But what do women, I know you're married, but what do women say when they see you?
I'm not for the women, dude. It's too aggressive. They're a little bit like, okay, all right. A lot of blinking. Like, all right. When you're in there, women don't like that. The other
But
Old
you got your
Spice
shirt.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
The other Old Spice guy, hello, ladies. He's that guy. And I'm like, you stink. That does, women are like, okay, I'm going to be over here. I mean, even my wife is like, honey, when are you done with this commercial? When are you done? Because you can stop shouting.
And even at your age, you can take off your shirt.
That's it, man. 49 years old.
Good for you.
I feel very happy. I'm blessed.
I mean, it's nice to have somebody who's ripped in here with me because obviously look at these guys.
Not necessary.
Well, I always look at sports culture as, you got to look at sports as inspirational. You know what I mean? I always want to tell people when you're watching sports, let it motivate you to work out. You know what I mean? Because if it sedates you, you can be in trouble. You know, I've seen guys that are like 700 pounds and telling people what to do. So yeah, these guys are not in bad shape. They're not in bad shape. You know, but I've seen some really.
We'll take that.
Ruh-roh.
That's sort of a compliment.
Not bad shape is the best thing we're gonna hear all
No,
day.
they're not in bad shape. You know, look, just being average is the new up. You know what I mean? It's like.
He's Terry Crews, one of the stars of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, now in its 5th season, premiered just last week. Every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern on Fox. Great to see you again. Maybe I'll see you in another Sandler movie here
you
soon,
will.
Terry. Thank you.
You will. Love you, Dan.
Thanks for stopping in.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.